So my name's Lauren Ryan. I work for a business called Think Tank Property Finance. We are a non-bank lender specializing in commercial lending. Either assets are commercial or the borrowers are commercial. So we do both commercial and resi. I work on the debt capital markets investment side of things. So I'm not directly in the property game in the same way that you and Steve are, but it's very much a big part of what I do for work. I engaged the buyer's agent because I knew the market was very, very different and that I wasn't willing to do it on my own. I needed you to go and do the negotiation and find the right property and get the deal done without having to go through all the rigmarole of dealing with 500 people turning up for an auction. So I think it's really beneficial if whoever uses a buyer's agent has a bit of a goal in mind as to what they want out of them. Obviously, you guys can do the whole package. But I knew what I wanted. I didn't know what, I knew that what the foundations of the thing I wanted, but I didn't know what it looked like. And that's where it was really valuable having you guys come into play, going and looking at the properties and finding them and finding the areas, and then basically saying, yes, this is what we want. Let's go ahead and move on it. So I think it helped that I was with such a proactive and fast moving team because that suited me, I guess. The interesting part of using you guys was when we were discussing a renovation project versus an move in right away because of the difference in demand from owner occupiers for those kind of properties. And I know that we nearly went down that more renovators dream path, but then we found Thistle. So we didn't have to worry about that. But that wouldn't have been a conversation I would have been comfortable having with myself if I was doing it on my own. So I think that was a big beneficial part of using the service was looking at different strategies and different opportunities and explaining to me, well, we're going to have a harder time bidding on this because of these factors. This property might not be as desirable, but there's a huge amount of upside because people are going to want to move in right away or they're not willing to do the work. So where do you fit? So that was really valuable. And yeah, we were just able to get it done really quickly. You had all the relationships with the building and pest and the conveyances, and everyone was pretty much ready to go from the get-go, so there was no delay. So there was heaps of information provided to reassure me that that was the right area, and your reports and your data and your understanding of the area and what it could be like. It was really valuable. I mean, I didn't have any doubts that I was going to get the ROI. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used you. I wouldn't have used you or any buyer's agent, but I wouldn't have used you. But I think the initial conversations that we had about what I'm looking for and also just what I'm like to deal with, and this is what I expect. And, I knew that it was going to be a case of we were going to get the best deal we could. In a market like we were in, ROI is the fact that you dealt with a lot of the back end stuff that I didn't have to deal with. I'm looking for something that's going to grow in the long term and that's going to be in a good area, and that I didn't over leverage myself on. What I had in the bank, what I was able to borrow, what the repayments are going to cost me, what the rent we were going to get. I see the ROI in just making sure that we found a quality property that fit all of those parameters. And yeah, you guys did all the negotiation and you backed yourself. This is what I think it's worth. But for anyone looking at using a buyer's agent, have the conversation with them first before you engage them about what you're looking for and what you're willing to do, and how much you're willing to pay. And if you see them responding and working within those parameters, then you're going to see ROI in the long run. But it's a long-term play. And trying to do it myself in this current market, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have got railroaded by real estate agents, even if it was Todd, who I know is a lovely guy. I just wasn't in a position to do that negotiation in the same way that you did, because one, I work full time. I had too much going on, but that's not where my expertise lies in this particular asset class. So long-winded answer, but it's there in the long run. Well, I don't want to inflate your ego too much, so I might go with an 8. So you still got some room to go, but no, I would definitely use you guys again. And And I think I've mentioned that in the past. So when I do the next one, I'd happily use you again. It is a big cost initially, and I do get that, especially at the moment for people that are purchasing for the first time. You're paying a lot more for an asset that 2 years ago wasn't worth the same. I appreciate that that's hard to get your head around. Buyer's agents for your own home might not be the way to go because you know what you want emotionally. And that's something that the buyer's agent or anyone else just can't make that decision for you. For investment properties, though, it's a business decision, and you think about how many advisors you have around you and how many experts you have around you. When you're looking at a buyer's agent or you're looking at your investment portfolio, you've got to look at it like a business. You've got your accountant, you've got your lawyer, you've got your mortgage broker, and you've got your buyer's agent. Just think that when you look at it like a business perspective, that you've got all of your team around you who are all working to get the best outcome for you. So yeah, I would happily use you guys again. And I would absolutely refer any of my friends or family who are looking to purchase and looking to use a buyer's agent. I'd refer them on to you guys to see if they're a good fit for you, and vice versa.